Calling to order 6 o'clock, and we have a quorum. We have a full house today. And some visitors, which is nice, with exciting news we will get to shortly. The first order of business is to accept the minutes of the July 5th regular meeting.
So, second.
Any discussion? Those in favor?
Aye.
By you, Carrie. Visitor comments and petitions. Is there anyone here for anything that is not on the agenda? Great. Our standing updates, ferry service update. Do you have anything? No,
No.
John King is not here. We do have, in the packet, there is a letter of support that John King revised and that I signed for funding that the delegation is going forward to support our new ferry. So that's in the packet. Sea level rise. Our next meeting is tomorrow at 5:30 with a small group discussion for folks that live around the Narrows. The public is welcome, but
At the library.
at the library. Yep, and on Zoom. To start, we have a series of small group meetings scheduled for this summer, and that will be the first one. It'll be a day to start having conversations with folks about what the process is going to be in the municipal building project.
Well, the planning board application is in to Janet's office. She signed off on it, so that's for the health center. And there's only one item left on the Up Island Public Safety Garage. This is all in terms of the planning board. And that is a site visit. And as soon as they have that state, which should come in the next week or so, that's the last piece. There's no other part of the planning board application we need to go in for the Up Island Public Safety Garage. So we're on our way.
Any questions for Lauren?
Any updates on contributions?
We do have more contributions, but that's not something I can share at the moment.
Oh, okay.
But there have been more contributions since it. Since we're already over the amount that we were going to have in contributions. But there's been some since.
Good.
There's still time. If you want to get still go.
The August 10th summer information meeting. I know we talked to, you guys, I wasn't here, but I know that was part of the agenda last meeting and just thought it would be helpful to keep that as a standing item until the August 10th meeting, if there was any additional planning that was required for that.
Yeah, we, at some point, we should decide the order of things. And I think there was one item that was being considered to be added.
And maybe Phil wants to speak to that.
Yeah.
I talked with Doug Weldon yesterday.
Okay.
And he would like to add, is it a 2-minute video?
Yeah, it's a video that they put together for the EMS service, and it goes about 2.5 minutes or so. And it's used hopefully to get further volunteers to join the service. Right now, the service has, I don't know how many members, but they are of the senior type. And we need some young people on the service. It's a commitment, believe me. You just don't walk into that one. But anyway, it's really rewarding too. It's very fulfilling. So they would like to show that if everyone is agreeable.
Is that the video that was shown at town meeting? Yep.
I think it'd be nice because then the people that arrive later in the summer have a chance to see it too. And
Yeah.
I think it's great.
Yeah.
Are we aiming for an 1.5 hour meeting or an hour meeting? 15 minutes? No, I mean for, not tonight.
I know you're saying, I know you're
No. For the summer information meeting, are we trying to contain that at all or looking at?
Yeah, I mean,
Usually an hour.
Hour?
Arch, remember used to say
Yeah.
that.
I think that's a good target.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And did you say Steve Black will be there?
Steve Blatt and, the, contract manager, Wendy Collette, and Mark Roulette, I believe is how you pronounce his name.
And leaving on the Quicksilver,
Yes,
which leaves at what time? I'm not sure.
I haven't arranged that, and I don't know if Shri is coming, if
She is planning to come, and I think the Quicksilver is usually at 8:45.
8:45, okay. So,
I don't know if, you guys still hosting the Thursday ones.
Yeah.
Changing from Sean and them, and so we might call and make sure that they still have their Thursday night ones, 'cause I didn't see it on my schedule.
Okay,
Okay, yeah, I guess I looked through this week because we've got somebody writing it this week.
Oh, good. And so I checked it 2 weeks ago, because I was looking at the basketball and soccer schedules, because some of them need 10 o'clock ones, and I was like, oh,
yeah,
free schedules.
Okay. Anything else on the summer informational meeting right now? I think maybe for our next, we have one more select board meeting before
Yeah.
the 10th meeting, and, you know, maybe we could have, I'm happy to work on, maybe with Lauren drafting kind of a time
yeah.
frame for that to make sure that we are able to, you know, maintain.
We'll be sending this out in the newsletter, which will go out, I guess, next Friday, the 28th. But I just have it updates on municipal building project and sea level. I can just add whatever.
Very, very updated.
Very updated.
Very updated. Did you hear from John again?
I asked
For
John,
Cohen, yes.
I forgot that you were gonna do that, Janet, so I just jumped in and asked him, he said he could do that, he's free that night. Good.
I'd also put on there ambulance recruitment, or EMS recruitment. Make it look like it's full, fill it up.
Oh,
Park
the
and-
agenda?
Yeah, give us an update on it.
Everybody's for. I mean, I'm sure Doug will mention that when, at the video time, he'll say.
Well, I know
Whoever
for that going out, that way if somebody's not interested in municipal building, doesn't know what sea level ride is, but maybe interested in EMS.
But it's
Just trying to get
only,
more
it's
people
only
in.
a 2 minute, I mean, you're not gonna get much information,
Yeah.
I
They
agree
could
with
ask a
you,
whole bunch of
but
questions.
But maybe Fred will be there and he
Yeah.
can say,
I would think he would be.
see me, you know, anybody could be a
Right,
driver.
it could just be,
too.
you know, general questions, general town questions, or, yeah, I mean, I'm sure that we may feel something that's beyond what is part of the formal agenda, if there are questions that come up.
Well, there are 4 items, so that's 15 minutes each. If you go to 2 an hour.
Video is only 2 minutes. For the ambulance.
That's not on there. That's not one of the 4.
What is the town report?
Yeah, I don't know. What did that mean? The town report?
Where?
The 4 items on the agenda for the informational
It was,
meeting on
it's in the
page
meeting,
2.
it's in the minutes from last meeting, the last meeting discussion on this.
I think we just talked about having extra copies
Having
of the
them
town
there,
report
I think.
out.
Oh,
Yeah,
Okay,
It was just having the copies of it available for people that didn't have
correct.
theirs.
If we got a box of them over here, I'd love to have them go.
okay. Great. Anything else?
just a thought on this, that, when Janet opens it up and welcomes it, there might be a couple of things that she might wanna mention, including this prize.
Yeah,
So
I was-
that's by way of an announcement, not by something we wanna go into in depth. So,
Only if one of you were there, because as soon as that goes out, they're gonna say, and I won't be able to answer. So if they cross it out with you, the prize. I love that name, prize.
It's just a check.
Well, I know, but not like no strings.
No, absolutely, just money. No strings.
Lord, bring them on.
Are they doing a formal kind of unveiling when is this public, or is it?
Yeah, I guess they already did a press release, so we can publicize it whenever you're ready.
has that been on constant contact, Sharon?
That, no, I don't think so.
We've not disseminated the information at all.
No, we were waiting to come here and ask for your permission to have the town accept the prize and allow us to go to phase 2.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
Let us think about it.
We've already got it spent.
Yeah.
Well, there isn't a lot of time left in the summer information meetings schedule, but it is a major, certainly source of pride and a major, you know, kind of kickoff of a lot of work that you all are leading. So, you know, finding a way, if there is a way that we can use that event to, you know, celebrate what you've accomplished and what you plan to do, then, you know, certainly we wanna do that.
Thanks, yeah.
And maybe a handout of something.
Okay.
You know,
make a
even a
really
one page or
one-pager.
something that people could, but
Great.
we should be getting it into constant contact, whatever you give us.
Okay, we'll get a announcement ready then. If you're ready.
We can, you know, kind of use it as saying like, this is, this happened, that's exciting, and like, you'll be hearing more from us. We hope to like start to engage the
Yeah.
community in the fall, so, you know.
And they can start to engage us
Yeah,
as soon as they
exactly.
want, like any, like, you know,
Tomatoes.
seasonal
you know,
stuff.
watermelon.
Yeah,
We'll have to fresh people.
no fruit ammo.
Great. Okay, well, let's, get through the next couple of things so we can get to that exciting, to really dig into the meat of that project. Planning board meets June 24th. Is there any other meetings or something?
That should be July. 24th.
Yeah,
I apologize.
I was happy to go back to June. Okay. Your town manager's report.
All right, as they mentioned, you've received a copy of this, letter to Secretary Buttigieg about the supporting of the transportation of the $17.5 million application to the DOT regarding the ferry service for rural communities program that Shay had signed. We sent it in as quick as we could. And then there was an executive summary with that, which I think you all probably did see it. It's in your packet. I've given you minutes from the June 8th Lighthouse Restoration Committee meeting, minutes of the April 5th Emergency Transportation Ad Hoc Committee meeting. And reminder, municipal broadband bills are going out. I've been studying them with Tina today. They'll be going out in the mail probably by the end of this week. And they're due August 31st, but if delinquent accounts after October 1st will result in discontinuance of service, and disconnected accounts are subject to a reactivation fee of $50. We're hoping that people will pay, track them down and just get serious about disconnecting these people, that they kind of just let it go and they have to.
Is there any kind of a fine if they don't pay it by the 31st or? get it?
Well, they're gonna have to pay, it'll be shut off.
No, I'm just saying, between the 1st of October and the 31st of August.
No,
No,
No.
okay,
they should pay. If they don't, they get shut off and then
okay.
that gets their attention. You have a memo we all received, I'm sure, but I want to put it in the records, from the Quicksilver stating there's a new captain, Sean. I don't know his last name. Do you know his last name? But that the big thing is for Fred, and I see Fred's on the line. They will no longer be making any runs, excuse me, after 10 p.m. Which will have a big effect on the ambulance service and transporting people. And I was wondering if Fred thought we should share this with, the Rockland DOT. We should, it's not gonna make up their mind about anything, but I think to know that when we say, I can't get anybody after 10 o'clock, that they might be more lenient when they're asked about using the ferry for emergency.
Oh, okay.
Fred, are you there?
Yeah, I'm having a little bit of problems with my connection, so if I have a private offer that we've worked in the past, go ahead, um,
Fred, we really can't
What?
hear you at all, unfortunately.
Breaking.
put it- yeah. I'll
Thanks.
put it in the chat. Yep.
Everywhere. Okay, thanks, Fred.
I do.
David,
Um,
do you know if he's contacted the Quicksilver or anything about it?
He told me today he doesn't know much more than you know.
Okay. I wasn't sure, because I didn't know if maybe I was reading too far into it with the any runs, or if it was that they weren't chartering any runs.
Can
And
you hear me
so,
now?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's great.
Okay, I'll make it real quick. Is that we're working with private boat operators right now to try to pick up some of the late night stuff, as we've had some offers. And the Quicksilver is not running between 10 p.m. and 6 a.m. I think it's because they probably don't have a captain to run that time of night. Was you able to hear that okay?
Yep,
Yeah.
thank you, Fred.
I'll leave it to Fred to figure if he wants to contact, Ferry.
Fred, I don't know if you heard, Janet's suggestion about contacting the ferry service. I know that, a couple of months ago, there was a lot of discussion about, kind of the decision tree and updating that with DOT. So, if you have a recommendation or updates about that, maybe that's something that, it makes sense to bring up at a future meeting.
I will.
Great, thank you.
Okay. All right, so, for my report, Marge Hall, our auditor from Berry Fowles, and Roy was here July 12th and 13th, and she'd been at the school the day before. And Marge last week thought she would be sending me a preliminary audit this week, but I haven't seen it yet. Did you have anything to say from meeting with her? or-
No,
I don't know if anybody else came in this year, I don't know.
Yeah, I had the chance to meet with her for about 30 minutes while she was here. It was just a nice opportunity to talk with her and understand her process, and she had general questions, but it was nice to be included in the process and to put a face with a name, and so.
All right, Tina, about the billing, I said that. Oh, today I had a visit from Dan Ward of the DOT, the office, I think it's in Searsport, who take care of our roads, state roads, and he said they're gonna be replacing 2 culverts late in August or September. He's hoped to do it before school, but it depends on weather and everything. Mill Creek by Albert Rollison's, that's a really deep culvert, so it's gonna have to be opened up, and we'll have some road closures. But we'll be announcing that in time, to give people notice. And West Bay Road, before Peter Mills driveway, as you're leaving, if you're heading north, there's a bad culvert and it's low down there that plugs, and that's the 2 that they're going to do. And the other thing I mentioned, was there anybody interested in that, Waldo County Budget Committee? I know we talked about that before, but I found this in my clipboard pile, and I just thought I'd put it out there, so. What, if you are, or if you aren't, that's fine. And I have received from Maine Municipal Association a voting ballot for the MMA Executive Committee. I'm not sure if you're interested in checking off people here that you don't know, but there's no write-in candidates. There are candidates that they have already. So if you're interested in doing that, you have until August 18th if you want to do research. And there's information about candidates there, but I thought I'd give it that opportunity.
But if you did the research and they won't accept write-ins,
Well, it's just the research is on the 3 if it were candidates that are here.
And so you could pick one of those 3 as your personal vote.
Well,
There's three.
The vote for three, there's three, and there's one is the vice president, it's a one-year term, and there's executive committee members,
3-year term,
3-year term.
vote for 3. Thank you, that's 3.
And Gabe was on, not on that.
He was on Waldo County.
So all three basically are running unopposed.
Yeah.
There's
I
no.
would say they're in.
I don't,
I was bet against it.
I don't think we've ever voted before, it just didn't make sense, but I mean, if you want to do it and support them, I will pass this around and, or I can bring it back August 2nd. You can look at it again, or August 16th, you can look at it again, but I think 18th is the deadline.
Yeah.
I think that's all for me. Anybody have any questions?
Hey, what's the thought? So the DOT is going to do culverts. How do we, so, speaking of West Bay Road, I think there are a few corners there close to the Historical Society side where the road is pretty narrow and what little shoulder exists is starting to really kind of collapse away. Which I just noticed because I passed on trucks back there with the trailer frequently. And here my equipment just bounce all over the place. And I'm wondering what we would need to do to request that perhaps they do a little bit of, not necessarily replacement, but even just kind of square it off again.
I guess give me that specific location
Okay.
and ask, and I will ask them, I can email them, which I do usually, and this is the first time I've seen them. They're very short on crew, this is why they haven't been out here. But they generally do come out if I call about a complaint or no, like, shoulder or something, so give me that specific.
I'll get some numbers for you tomorrow.
Yeah,
house numbers.
Yeah, and maybe that's something, because they're going to, when they're digging out this culvert, especially by Alberts, because it is so deep. They're gonna have a lot of fill.
Yeah.
Ooh, that they,
That'll be a good use for it.
you know,
Take a-
so, and they were asking me, and I was gonna mention it to Jordy, you know, see if there's places that we can use it or.
Yeah.
Something like that, so that may be a good opportunity.
Yeah, I'll get you an email tomorrow.
When you email them, will you let them know that school starts October or August 31st?
I will, that's why I asked today, he mentioned that to me about, he'd like to do it before school, but it might not happen.
Students' first day is August 31st.
I got that, thank you. So, yeah, that's a good point,
Okay.
yeah.
I'll let you know.
Any other questions? Great. No other correspondence? No old business, so we are on to the new business. Thank you for your patience, and thank you for joining us. Tell us about your project.
Well, hopefully, okay, so how we got here was the Island Institute encouraged us to apply for this energizing rural communities prize competition that's held by the Department of Energy in order to support like local towns, like our small towns under 100,000 like us, to develop partnerships that would lead to clean energy projects, broadly defined. So we propose a partnership plan that we won the prize for, and therefore we would like to accept the prize to start implementing a plan or a similar plan that allows us to work with community groups like the Islesboro Community Fund, the Economic Sustainability Corporation, and the Community Center to figure out how to make solar power more affordable and more accessible to people who need it, and also home energy efficiency upgrades, namely insulation and hopefully heat pumps as well. So basically, it's just trying to reduce the financial barriers and the kind of technical barriers with our implementation partners, who right now are Revision and Evergreen, of course, but we hope to expand that and kind of use the next year to get more partners who can help us have more affordable, home energy upgrades on the island and kind of remove some of the issues we've been having with accessing workforce and stuff like that. Yeah, workers. So yeah, we think this is a big opportunity to bring a lot of resources and ideas together and hopefully come up with a good strategic plan for us to start implementing what we've been working on for the past 2 years, which is the Energy Transitions Initiative Partnership Project with the national labs. We call it ETIP, of course. And they told us that we could actually possibly likely get like a lot lower cost electricity on the island if we develop a certain amount of solar, and it would actually like, you know, financially make sense for us to go forward with like trying to get slightly larger scale solar arrays on the island, and as well as using like the new federal funding for home energy upgrades and stuff like that. So we're trying to, bring this all together in a plan that will, help more island residents or facilitate other island residents to, get cheaper energy and,
Wow.
all of it. I mean, that's the gist of it, but I think, there's a lot of like details that in the next couple months we'll be, working out now that we know we have to work them out. And obviously, and we will be sure to keep you all more updated in phase 2 than we did in the application phase. I apologize for that.
wasn't it?
It was very quick. It was like less than a month. We're like, so.
Is the solar upgrade including a solar farm, or is it individual homes?
Yeah, so what we looked at with the labs was a range of behind the meter and at home, all the way up to like 1 or 2 megawatt arrays, which would be like 1 to 3 acres. So it completely depends on what we are able to have people willing to host on the island, and what it makes sense in terms of, what the, larger community will accept. And we'll go through a kind of community, like outreach engagement process to make sure that it makes sense for everyone to accept a larger array. But, we would accept their principles also. Like, for example, it has to be owned by us, not a developer, coming in from away, and that is entirely possible now with the funding and financing opportunities that the federal government is allowing us to apply for. And that's kind of what this prize is for also, is to allow us to build the capacity within our team and, like with our partners to apply for these federal funds. Yep. And we have.
Do you want to speak to that?
Okay, so,
Because you
go
talk
ahead.
about solar array, but there's also.
Energy efficiency issue. So they realized that, or they were able to analyze how much it would cost to upgrade homes on the island so that they would be more energy efficient and therefore more prepared for the deep freeze, the next power outage, the next heat dome, stuff like that. So we need to consider the energy efficiency because it will make the electricity a lot cheaper overall if we pay for energy efficiency in addition to solar. If we pay for just solar, it will cost twice as much.
A lot more. Yeah,
So-
and the other thing is we will need a lot more solar array power if we don't economize in the buildings first.
Twice as much.
And
Which
that's down the
we
road,
can't
long term. So,
Fit on the island.
right.
By the way. So basically, we have to figure out how to, upgrade everybody's houses somehow. Within the next, we're looking at maybe this is long range, not, we're just making a plan in the next year to get to the next stage.
But we do have a plan to leverage small amounts of money into larger sums of
Yeah.
money from Efficiency Maine to upgrade houses in a cycling way. So a small pot of money loaned out to somebody, they make advances in their economies, they turn that back into the pot of money, and then it gets re-loaned out. And we hope that we can expand that pot of money and expand the rate at which we do this as people hear by word of mouth how well it works. And so that's basically the plan for economizing, so we don't have to put up such a big solar array.
So with the new homes being built, are there any rules and regulations that are associated with building a new home?
we would love to have that.
There are no codes.
conversation.
We'd have to implement. it.
So I'd love to be able to talk
Yeah.
about that,
Is that
and
part of your plan?
we would love to make a proposal that includes, adopting, building energy codes. Yes, definitely.
The committee has talked about this for
But,
2.5, 3 years.
yeah,
But-
but yeah, if we can incorporate it into this plan and show, hey, we can really achieve our energy independence goals using those new building codes, then I hope it will make a compelling case. Yeah.
And we do have case studies to share. We do have examples of homes that have done this and
Well, it
we
makes
can realize the
sense.
economics.
Yeah,
Yeah, especially for new buildings.
This building right here.
slowly getting it up to code.
Yeah, thank you, Bill.
Well, it's collaborative work on a lot of people's part.
Yeah, so, yeah, there's a whole lot of pieces and we will,
So in
Yeah,
terms
hopefully
of,
it's like yeah.
the codes for new buildings and that sort of thing, yeah, that would be working with the planning board. That seems like they're right now working on, things like,
ADU,
housing
Yeah.
related.
LD 2003.
Yeah, so, but I think shortly after that, because that's gonna be probably figured out pretty soon,
okay,
this year anyway. That
Okay.
would be worth starting
Great.
pretty soon, working with somebody in the planning board to get that
Okay.
underway.
great,
Because it takes a while.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I wonder how that would go. We don't have building codes per se. Is that,
Would it be an ordinance?
Yeah,
well,
Yeah.
that would be
Yeah.
big thing to accept, but I wonder if you could do this without having building codes.
yeah, I mean, for example, you could have an ordinance that says you must adopt the main building energy code, for example.
Energy code.
Yeah, and that's a
That must
pretty
comply with that.
standardized, right, exactly,
We can start with very strong
Yeah.
recommendations. We can give guidelines to people, especially
Yeah,
those
guidelines.
beginning to build a home or those who are in the middle of it and have the choice to upgrade what they're doing.
Yeah.
I mean, I can tell you from our work and the work here, retrofitting a house is a lot harder than starting from scratch.
It is really I mean, yes, there is an investment initially, but it is really saving the money over time, especially with the,
Yeah.
the cold here. And as it gets hotter and more humid.
Yeah.
Hopefully
The
not.
humidity.
Yeah.
Yeah, and part of this prize is for us to set up a communication strategy for, presenting these very issues to residents. Yeah.
Can I add our exceptional quality with regard to the other groups that were involved here?
Oh, yes.
I think it's important to realize how unique Islesboro is with regard to all the other groups that were involved in this process. I went to the Colorado inaugural annual meeting of ETIP. And there I got to listen to the groups from around the United States that had done very much what we had done through ETIP. And what struck me, well, many things, I won't share all those things with you, but the one thing that struck me dramatically, and I've already shared with the committee, is that all the others started with a community realization of a serious problem. That realization led to identification of a group or an individual who then became the point people for seeking the interaction with ETIP. So the community at large saw the problem and focused effort through a narrow group of actuators. We're exactly the opposite. This came to realization through the committee, and now we have to bring this realization in a broader sense to the community and engage everyone else to come along with an understanding of the problem and a possible solution. So that's our big challenge in the next year, I think. What, did I misstate any of that?
Yeah, just opening up the process. Yeah.
What is, Dick DeGrasse was working on a project to lower electrical rates. Well, is that's not part of this, I understand, but
Not
Peripheral.
specifically, yeah,
Peripheral.
but we will be taking into account his concerns for time of use rates
Yeah.
and trying to combine that with the time of use rates that solar creates, which is really cheap power during the day. He's looking at time of use rates that has really cheap power during the night.
during the night.
So we can basically try to bring those together and make,
Complementary
basically,
approaches.
continuously affordable,
Is that going along? Is progress being made?
We're still
On the
exploring it.
DeGrasse?
We're exploring. It's a question of how much we commit ourselves to in terms of money to achieve what he's hoping to
Yeah.
realize.
Oh, and versus responsibility.
Yeah,
Right.
how much responsibility,
It's
it's a lot of
Probably,
responsibility.
Right.
you kind of know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think
Yeah.
we're trying to get the same outcome, but maybe with less town responsibility than the path that he has, like kind of started on. So same
Right.
idea, maybe just different approach.
Right, for example, CMP might allow, like, create better time of use rates through, state policy. So we would be able to use those, like, we're kind of balancing between, whether we go out on our own or, we advocate for.
What to
those
do
new-
first, how to,
Yeah.
where to put the
Policies.
limited resources we have.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and responsibility.
But Dick's done a nice job exploring these. The
Yeah.
question is, what's the most lucrative and time efficient path forward?
Yeah. And what can we fund with the available funding right now?
Is Pine Tree Power still seeking to purchase CMP?
Yes, it's in the referendum in this November, yeah.
I think it would be them and Versant. I think it would be both. That would
Yeah,
be
and
for
Versant,
CMP and Versant. They would purchase both of the the investor-owned utilities in Maine. So pretty much the whole state.
Yeah, that was actually my question. I like this, like the flow chart, I like that, and the kind of future outcomes as far as municipal energy
yeah.
corporation that. Yeah, I think you sort of touched on what my questions were for that,
Okay.
as far as like, how you evaluate. And where we are, how you evaluate kind of where we are now to understanding the responsibilities and the financial, requirements of kind of getting to that future kind of corporation state.
Right.
So it sounds like something that you are all
Yeah,
thinking
It's a big
about a lot
question.
and,
Yeah.
look
Yeah.
forward to kind of hearing how you go, as you go through this process,
Mhm.
what you're learning, how we can be
Okay.
supportive.
How your structure evolved.
Yeah.
great.
And you're already establishing partnerships with other committees or organizations on the island, which is awesome. So, how they all work together with you, that structure, how that structure evolves.
Mhm.
Going to where Bill's point is, if you're going from the committee being the impetus for all of this and trying to broaden it, that's your model is perfect for that, working with the existing committees and getting them on board and then getting the community to understand what the structure is and how it's evolving simultaneously is really great.
They're like us. They have made a pie in the sky commitment to the idea. Now we have to hammer out the details.
Yeah, but we're all, enthusiastic about moving
Enthusiastic.
forward.
That's a pretty big prize money for an idea.
Right?
That's pretty impressive. They obviously have a lot of confidence that you can pull it off, so. We do.
Kreska wrote a compelling proposal. I mean, I would like to say that. She wrote a compelling proposal.
Yeah,
they
watch it.
How long is your video?
3 minutes.
3 minutes?
Yeah, if you click, there's a link in the PDF.
So good.
It's great.
You watched it? Oh,
I was at the meeting. when
You were
shared
there.
it. Yes, and I loved it, and I thought she did an absolutely fantastic
Did you see
job.
us all blushing?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering, is that an appropriate, not having seen it, is that kind of an appropriate thing to share as like a announcing this at the summer informational meeting, or is that something you're not quite comfortable with?
If we've got Michael Hutcherson, he can put it up on the screen.
Okay, maybe you could
Look at it
all
first.
look at it and just shoot me.
You know,
Like,
I'm gonna be 100% behind this, and I'm gonna share with you the entire way, and I
Okay.
really think that, and it highlights Islesboro.
Oh,
And it's
yeah.
really good, and it's not just everybody sitting in a room talking.
No.
She went around on her bike, and she filmed different parts of the
I was
island.
kind of, obsessive about it.
And it's an amazing video.
It's
So I want everybody to watch it. Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
They can all see
Yeah.
it first and make sure that they love it as much as I do.
Right, and there's a couple of things I would change or like remove a couple of labels in order to make it more of a, like, allowing people to see ideas in it instead of what we were trying to communicate in it, you'll see. So, there's a couple of things I would change, but after that, I think the message might be okay.
I think it's a good
it's not objectionable.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
it's a good message.
It gets people,
Yeah.
again, it's like a first step of like, kind of dipping a toe into saying, hey, we're gonna work with you, we wanna work with you, this is our idea, get people thinking about it and feeling about it,
Yeah,
whatever
feeling.
it is, so we can talk about it.
Might be a nice way to end the information medium with that high.
Yeah.
And that will give us, it's a while, that'll give us some time to reach out in reality to these groups that we've already spoken to in just, as I say, pie in the sky mode. And get feelers going and get some of the dissemination of ideas out.
Right, yeah.
Well, we'll watch the video and then, we'll be, and think about how your outreach, how you want to refine your message and materials, and then, we'll figure out how to incorporate it in a way that, really allows us to celebrate it.
Could we have that on the agenda for the next meeting?
Yep.
Okay, yeah.
So do we have permission to say that we accept the prize?
Yes.
Oh,
right.
We are.
I think.
that was the purpose of our being here.
I want to see the video first. Show the video at the.
We need a motion.
Right.
So I move that we, accept the prize. No, we applaud and go with that we accept the prize.
So I would read that.
Yeah.
All right, great. Any further discussion?
There's one thing so during the meeting, when we were talking about this, Jessica was talking about how she had applied for this, and this was one of the things that she was going through. And that it wasn't very likely that we were gonna get it, but it was a great experience to learn how to write the grants and how to do it, and we would have all of this information. But we're not gonna get it. We're not gonna get it. There's so many other communities that are doing so much more. They have all of these other people that are helping. They have all of these backers. They hired their own people to write this. And Cressica did it.
Right.
No, I didn't put it out and their attention, but my God, girl, I am so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. And that was the first thing I screamed and I scared everybody in my house when I read the email. Because it was like, oh, she did it.
Yes.
And so, like, you all did it. But I'm gonna embarrass Cressica.
No, she deserves it.
So.
Smith, we have to leave.
And you should probably keep this under your hat because there are so many people that want you to write.
Right. Right? But I just wanted that. Yeah.
We hope that she will not be under that kind of pressure again alone.
Yeah.
Yeah, Stephen was part of it.
Yeah,
She was part of it. It was not a problem.
But part of this using of the prizes to actually hire someone to help.
Yeah, to help us
Yeah.
get through it.
Big one. That's a big
And I think we
piece.
should talk to Sea Level Rise about that as well for guidance and
Yeah,
past
Whenever we
experience.
can, we would love to, yeah.
Yeah, I do think there's a lot of complementary, things happening, so it would be great to,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Find me up. Thank you.
all right, wait, before you do, all those in favor? Aye. Thank you all for coming.
Thank you for your support.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations, good job.
Thank you so much.
Bye, you guys.
Where you going?
I'm not telling. Congratulations.
So you know it's someplace.
Right.
Okay, we're fun. Okay, so with that, we are moving on to approving warrant, number 26 for FY 23 and warrant number 2 for FY 24. Do I have a motion?
So moved. No, yeah, so moved in second.
Right, any discussion?
Who seconded?
Any discussion? Right, all those in favor? Aye. And I would guess the only other thing I would add about, my discussion with the auditors was just a lot of her questions, are kind of standard around, how we go through this, our standard, bookkeeping and, kind of oversight as a town, trying to avoid fraud, which she was not concerned about. It was standard questions, but we did talk a lot about, kind of the backup and, kind of going through this process often seems very sort of standard and rubber stamp, but it is, a really important part of making sure that we are looking at the details of what's
Nobody's
happening.
stealing the store.
That's right. Appointments, no appointments tonight. Chair comments, consider that as my comments. Laura's not here, Bill?
Well, congratulations to the Energy Committee for their outstanding work. It was really, it's quite an accomplishment. So we look forward to their success.
Absolutely. What's up?
I just want to say for, attended the lighthouse, dedication reopening ceremony. The Island Fellow did such a fantastic job and it was great. And just thank you to the Lighthouse Committee for everything that they're doing. And I have the best committee ever.
All right, with that, do you have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Oh, sure.
Excellent, thank you all.
Thank you. Madam Chair.
All right, Melissa, you gotta sign these.
You can tell you, I'm not leaving.
Okay.